So the first thing I'm going to do here is take out all the screws that I can see. Well, actually, let me go back. The first thing you do is unplug the power and all the other cords so you don't get electrocuted or cause any more damage. And I don't know which screws need to come out in order to take this thing apart, so I'm just taking out all the screws that I can see here. We'll find out in a minute. I would imagine after I get these side screws off, this plate should come off. And I'm just placing the screws over here somewhat in order and hopefully in arrangement of the way that they were in the board. Okay, so I decided against removing all the screws I could see and removed ones that kind of make sense. So I removed these ones off of the back. I took the feet off, removed these ones, went all the way down the side, removing screws that would appear to hold it on at the sides. There's a few on the front that hold this top panel on, and there's just a few down the left side here. And there's also these couple that go across this angled area in the back. And it looks like you can lift this up. I already lifted this up a second ago. This was glued on. I peeled this down. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug that little plug there and see if I can get this top piece the whole way off. Okay, so that is not a plug. It seems a lot like it's attached. I'm not exactly sure what to think of that, so I couldn't get it off, and I'm not going to try to yank it off any harder. So next I'm going to see if I can get this apart by setting this top piece sort of off to the back, and I'm going to grab that large piece of bare metal and see if I can move it out of the way and find out what's underneath. Okay, so I carefully set these two pieces here on the table. Those are the top piece and some sort of center bare metal piece. And wow, this is a lot simpler inside here than I had imagined. Although all these parts are just the amplification and the transformer parts. So I don't know. I guess I should have expected them to look kind of like this. So next up, the main outputs are underneath this square here. I'm going to see about taking that apart. Just get this cover off and see what it looks like underneath. And I'm hoping that I can find some sort of burned area or something that would indicate which component has been damaged. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is remove this panel here where the speak-on connectors go in. It looks a lot like I'm going to need a pair of needle nose pliers to hold on to these little nuts, and I'm just going to use my Phillips screwdriver to unscrew those. Okay, so after a fairly amount of toil and wondering how they even put the thing together, I finally got the board that controls the the board that the speak-on connectors are mounted on out of the machine. Somewhat not surprisingly, there's no visual evidence of any specific component being damaged that I'm able to see. So, well, I'm not sure what to do about that. But at least I know how the thing comes apart. And I don't know how I'm going to put it back together. to get those out, there were 2 screws on each one here and here. And I had to use the pliers to get them out, although this bottom one in the middle was especially difficult since I couldn't get the pliers down there. And it's hard to get them in there without damaging any of these other components that are underneath here. But I got it apart. Now maybe other people in the world can also get theirs apart. Just let me add that I cannot be held accountable if you damage your machine yourself or if you void your own warranty by disassembling it. So don't blame me if you break your stuff. Thanks for watching, and good luck repairing your machine.